guest for Global TV today is Professor Mohsin Ahmed, a wonderful teacher whom the students love a lot. He is a professor who is a co-learner with the students. He gives a lot of freedom for students. That is the reason students love him. He will not restrict himself within the syllabus which is given to him. He will give them all what they should do to learn the syllabus, and he will take them far beyond into the horizon of wisdom. And that's the reason the students love him a lot. Sir, we are so happy to have you here with us, joining from California, and we are all waiting to hear from you, sir. Please.
So thank you, Mr. Paulus, for the introduction, a kind introduction. And I'm really glad to have worked with you in Mangalore and learned so much from you about service and teaching, because teaching is not a one-way process, it's a two-way process. We, when we teach, we also learn from the students and we learn from our colleagues. And every learning happens everywhere, not just in the classroom. Even when you're walking, you see the plants, you learn, look at the birds, you learn everywhere. And you have to think about it. So that is the thing. And I'm glad to have been in Bangalore to teach in Bangalore and have met you, sir.
Now, how you compare the learning experience for students in California when compared within India?
Yeah, so one thing is that like I was very impressed with the culture of Bangalore, and the students are very polite and very quiet. And in California, it is much more open environment. Like everyone's, it's like a home. Everyone's doing different things. They're learning different things. The syllabus is not very clear, at least, and they have a lot more choice. So students start learning from young age to do different projects and stuff. And in India, we have a very structured syllabus. And I think one thing we need to do is probably update the syllabus, because the world is changing very fast. In the olden days, it was to change very slowly. Nowadays, technology changes every year. So what we know may even be outdated. The teacher, actually, students know more than the teacher nowadays.
So the world is changing very fast. So update the syllabus very frequently. That's what you are telling.
Yeah, and also maybe it's not about information, it's about thinking, because now everybody has access to all the information online. There's a lot of wrong information, a lot of right information. So the teacher job is not to like copy the information from the book onto the blackboard, but to point out, okay, think about it. What are we trying to solve? And then the students normally will come with the right answer. If they may fail once, but that's part of life, to try, instead of just getting a ready-made answer and just becoming a slave to the labor. They have to
Yeah.
solve problems. Then only we'll succeed as a society.
That means a lot of thinking is required in the process of learning. That's what you are citing here.
Yes.
I read recently in a book saying thinking is a spiritual process. And what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think spiritual is instead of calling thinking as spiritual, everything is spiritual. Life itself is spiritual. So when you go out and teach, you are spiritual. When you cook something, you are spiritual. And we should not have spiritual only for saying when you go to a holy place. It should be part of life. When you serve people, when you talk to somebody, you should have the same spiritual. Like I think they say, Brahman is in everything, not just in a building or a statue. It is everywhere. So what we should do is respect that and live a life according to the spiritual. Whether we are studying or whether we are going somewhere, whether we are watching nature, spiritual is not just something you do one time, but it's like part of your life. It is your own nature, like they say Brahman.
That means spiritual is not restricted in the religious place. It is far beyond. It is everywhere. And it is in every activity that you do. Everything that you do is spiritual. That's what you are very clearly mentioning.
Yeah, it is called mindfulness in Buddhism. Mindfulness means that like whatever you do with with mindfulness. You're like not just repetitive, not a machine, but you're actually a human being. And when you treat a dog also the same as a bird, you're respecting the Brahman in the dog. It's not just like something outside you. You're part of the whole nature, and we are one. That is the same in all philosophy. So you cannot succeed by uh, at the expense of somebody else. The whole nature has to lift up together.
Even the non-living things, everything we can experience God's presence, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sir, how do you evaluate success for a person?
So I think one thing is that like a lot of students have problem because they feel they don't have good marks, or their parents are saying you're not good looking, or somebody says, and those are like external factors. But the success, real success, is when you feel good about your work. And sometimes a lot of people, famous scientists, they solved the problem sitting at home. They didn't have to tell anybody. But the main thing to do in success is to when how you feel about it. Suppose you feed a dog, and then it is it's a thing that makes you happy. That is a success, and you don't have to tell anybody. You solve a math problem, or you solve a you play a musical instrument, or you go and help somebody. That is success. Success is not defined by society, but by your own nature, because you are part of the human thing. So success should not be something separate. It is like your own nature, and it should not be uh, uh, what do you call sad if you fail, because failure is also part of life. The only way to succeed is to try 10 times, and maybe twice you'll succeed. Don't expect to succeed 99% of the time. In fact, most people, scientists, succeed 1% of the time. They try 100 things, one will succeed. But nobody will tell you about a 99 failures. You only publish, okay, he invented this light bulb, but 99 times he failed. But that's not important. So when you try to succeed the first time, you'll be disappointed because there's a lot of effort going in everything. You have to put a lot of effort. So like you work for 10 years, then 1 year you'll get a degree.
You told you should evaluate yourself, not on the comment of others. You should yourself feel about you. But the human body and the systems, if you see, our eyes cannot see ourselves. We need to see ourselves through the words of others. In that case, I can evaluate me with what is the comment others are telling about me, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, so I think there are two kinds of comments. So when your parents say that you're good, sometimes they praise you without reason, and some people get a big ego. And then sometimes people say you're bad, and then people feel bad. But that is just like their idea of how you are succeeding on or doing. But then you don't know how much effort you put in. So it doesn't matter. It's useful, but it's not really important. It matters how you feel about your work. If you feel good about your work, you work hard, and nobody has to know it. Like, in fact, the most famous scientist, nobody knows they done good work. After like Galwa, he died, and but his paper was published maybe many years after he died, and he died unknown. So many times scientists have died unknown, but they know what is done, what is important, and you will know when you've done good work. Like, and then it's very easy to know when you have faith in yourself and in nature. Like you have faith in yourself when you don't have your ego. So that means to like saying you don't have to like somebody to come and tell you, say, give you a prize, then you feel good. Because whether you get a prize or not, you still have done the same work. Sometimes people don't get a prize, sometimes people get a prize. But that is independent.
Sir, your talk is so in depth. I am getting several thoughts. I do not know which where to branch out and where to take it further. That way, the small words which are putting it have so much power in it. Like say when parents praise the children, you interpret it in such a nice way. Parents praise because of several things, and you be realistic. Are you really put effort on that? And this gives a lot of insight for the people. But the praise is very important, no, sir?
Yes, sir. So praise, I think parents get a praise that gives a child a self-worth. So if the parent treats a child badly, they grow up feeling insufficient. So the parents have to give them unconditional love. No matter the child fails also, they say it's okay, it doesn't matter. You're still a beautiful human being. So that is a different kind of praise compared to a false praise where you say, okay, you got 100% when you didn't get 100%. And the parents will tell them it's not important. It's important that you understand the book. It's not important what marks you get, because some random things you may get a wrong mark, so you forgot to write something. So like exam has some randomness in it, but what the effort you put in is your own effort. So parents have to differentiate the two.
Yeah.
Parents have to appreciate the child's effort, not the not what the teacher's evaluation of the child. And the love has to be unconditional. It should not be dependent on like I will love you more because you got good marks or you have more this thing. It doesn't matter. In the end, nothing will matter because we all have to go up or down.
So nice. And the praise is forward looking, sir. It is also in praise we are putting our expectations also to the people.
Yeah, so that is another problem. So a lot of parents, when they didn't succeed, they expect their children to succeed. So they didn't get a 100% mark. They said like, so there's a common joke when says somebody says that like, I expect you good marks. He said that's what my grandfather says about you also. You didn't do well in school.
So
So yeah,
nice. So nice. Sir, we should continue the discussion in next episodes also. You please
sure.
give a message for the youngsters, because why I am shortening the episode is people love to watch short episodes.
Right,
Otherwise,
sir.
we can continue the discussion for much longer. But
Hmm.
definitely, we will catch up with one more episode. You please give a wonderful message for youngsters.
Okay, I think one thing is to have faith in yourself. Like doesn't matter what, because social media has so much influence, and like you say, okay, somebody is dressing up so differently, and you don't have that. So don't be influenced by social media. One. Number two is you have to put in read a book, and don't actually try to take shortcuts. You have to concentrate and read properly. Take a paper, pencil, write down, cut away from internet, and sit down and study properly because you need to focus and in peace. Study properly. Third is to take care of your health. Health is very important. You can like if you lose your health, you cannot get it back. Suppose they like don't eat good food, healthy food, eat like junk food. It affects your health maybe 20 years later. So eat good food and avoid sugary drinks. Drink more organic plain water, and avoid like cut off from TV and social media. Spend more time with yourself and thinking and nature and friends. People are more important than everything else. So that is the message. And try to do things bigger than yourself. It's not about you. It's about changing the world, and everyone can do it. So I think all students should try, and in fact, all of us should try. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So wonderful, so simple, so practical. And we will catch up in next episode soon. And thank you very much, sir.
I want to thank you for the inspiration that you've been to all the students and stuff, and in Bangalore, especially when I met you, and you inspired all the students with all your ideas and call us to Lobo View River and give us ideas. So you may not realize it, but you actually are the glue that brings people together and students and faculty together. And otherwise, people are just working in their own bubble. So thank you for that also. And putting it online and this global TV, it is I think a wonderful effort to reach more people. And there's no reason why your idea should not be available to other parts of the world besides like Bangalore.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yeah.